And we're looking at the Niger coup. West African bloc activates a standby force for possible deployment. And the good news now is that the leaders of the coup in Niger are now they're now disposed towards dialogue, because ECOWAS has said that not one of those conditions that they spoke about at the beginning is taken off the table. Now, from the point of view of the coupists, you know, this is going to be a very, very hard one for them to swallow, because ECOWAS is demanding the reinstatement of President Bazoum, yes, Bazoum, and his family in good health and without anything happening to them. So it was quite, you know, gratifying to note, to hear that now they are ready, you know, for dialogue. Remember, even though ECOWAS had, you know, expressed their gratitude to President Tinubu's emissaries that had gone there, they weren't as accommodating and respectful as they could have been, because one hears, without knowing the actual details, that it was difficult, if at all possible, to get to see any of the leaders. But, you know, that was disrespectful in diplomatic terms, I imagine. But I think the president was just, our president, was just exploring all sorts of options. Even though he's the chairman of ECOWAS and they have said the last resort would be the deployment of force, but he was still agreeing that other emissaries should try. And it looks like some got through to them and brought back the news, some religious leaders, because it now shifted away from politics, perhaps, you know. They now started sending spiritual leaders, and they got better results from that. How they are going to engage them, I don't know yet, but at least they have brought back the message that the people in Niger who have overthrown the government are now ready to talk.
Well, naturally, first and foremost, ECOWAS did everything to persuade the dictatorship to think, to return to common sense. I mean, I do not understand. I have listened to some analysts on television condemning Tinubu. First of all, Tinubu is not in this capacity acting as the president of Nigeria. And I agree with the president of Cote d'Ivoire. It's not an issue between Nigeria and Niger Republic. Definitely not. He's acting as the head of ECOWAS. But he has gone beyond the call of duty. First of all, he sent a former head of state of this nation and the leading spiritual leader for the Muslims.
That's right.
The Sultan of Sokoto and others to Niger Republic. I mean, with due respect, the government, and it shows you the type of government, military government, does not even have the courtesy to give them attention. I mean, if the head of state is sent to America, another president sends a team of that nature, even to America, it will be given regard. But in this, you know, like I said, basically a dictator is no more than just a ruffian. Did not even give them the recognition, did not receive them. And that's the second team that will go to Niger Republic. Let us also remember that it is not just ECOWAS alone that is calling for restoration of democracy and constitutionalism, because the taking over is actually a crime under the Niger Republic Constitution. Taking over by is considered a crime. The United Nations Secretary General Guterres called for restoration of constitutionalism. So it's important to understand that we face a major challenge to entire West Africa. And Nigeria, as the president of ECOWAS, the head of ECOWAS, and as also the most important nation that actually, in a sense, defines the regard for the entire region, cannot just keep quiet.
You know, in the midst of all of this, there was a lot of talk that when it comes to international affairs and diplomacy and all of that, it's not just Niger Republic.
Yes. Also,
people were talking about the interest of France,
yes,
of maybe Germany, of the U.S. There was even a time when the COUPists had said that France had flown a plane over their territory, yes, which was provocative. Yes. France denied it. So this thing was beginning to go. We even heard at a certain time that they might, get the nod of Russia and get some of those soldiers in, some of those mercenaries in. Yes. All of those, it was quite worrying at the time. Yes. But it would appear that everything has now settled down a bit, especially with the last word from the COUPists that we will talk now. But I wanted to ask, we got to this stage. Does it matter, the complication of, some have called them rented crowds, a lot of people that came out in support of the coup, the ordinary citizens you were talking about earlier?
Mm-hmm. But some people supported the coup, but there are other people
who don't.
Who also, there's a group that is called Council for Resistance for the Republic.
Yes.
CRR, Council, yes, for the Resistance of the Republic, that are also demonstrating against the coup and insisting on constitutionalism. So now there are people that are demonstrating, just like in any nation, you see a lot of crowd. I mean, we have elections in this country, and we have a lot of crowd, all sorts of things, from those who lose us in the election, saying all sorts of things, but they have their right to go to tribunal, make their case, and so on and so forth. The point is that orderly government must respect the rule of law and constitutionalism. And so all this issue about France and so on and so forth, how well have the leaders of African leaders in these countries done? How well have they performed? How well have they done? But the mere fact that we have challenges, does that mean that dictatorship is the result of the solution? In our country here, how well has dictatorship, what has it done, how well has it performed in terms of giving us good government, giving us peace, giving us development in this country? When we had a lot of money, when this nation had a lot of money, and it should have developed the same way that Dubai developed the wealth of oil, what was it? Was it not wasted?
Indeed.
Was it not tampered with? Did we not see billions and billions of dollars embezzled by uncontrolled, unlimitable government, military government?